chief rabbi of Israel, Sephardi chief rabbi, is Rabbi David Yosef, or Chief Rabbi David Yosef. Very, very interesting. Rabbi Yitzchak Yosef, his brother, was just a previous chief rabbi, or Rishon Letzion, let's just say, in of its own right. The father, Chacham Ovadia Yosef, also had a 10-year tenure between 1973 to 1983 as the Sephardi chief rabbi, as a Rishon Letzion. And now very much so, Rabbi David Yosef, I think, is the 9th Sephardic chief rabbi, marking since, let's just say, this chief rabbi title in of itself. And remember, there was, before this rabbi mantle, let's just say, position in of itself, there was a Rishon Letzion for many, many years. So let's speak a few words with regards to Chacham David Yosef, the new chief rabbi, and about the history of the chief rabbinate in Israel, which is a absolute phenomenal, just a phenomenal, interesting topic in of itself. So I thought, why not, let's speak about it tonight, because as a special edition. So Rabbi David Yosef was reported over to have been, he was born on the August the 10th in the English year 1957. So at this stage in time, he's 67 years of age. Naturally, he's a Rishon Letzion now, the Sephardic chief rabbi of Israel. He's authored many, many different Torah colossal books on Jewish law, mainly based on the, let's say, the rulings of Chacham Ovadia Yosef, his father, the great, great rabbi. I believe his most notable work is a set of books named Halacha Berura. I think it's like an encyclopedia, let's just say, of the commentary on the Shulchan Aruch, the Code of Jewish Law, with letters of appropriation, haskamot from his father, and Rabbi Yosef Shalom Eliashiv, who was a great Lithuanian rabbi of its own right. I think he passed away at the age of 102. This was some years back, and it was actually, naturally, I think he was elected on this position on September the 29th in the year 2024. This naturally lasts only about nearly 3 months ago from time of recording. He was a chief rabbi of Har Nof. This is, like, let's say, an ultra-Orthodox neighborhood in Jerusalem, and the head of Yeshivat Yechaveh Dat. This is a place where I actually studied for a few months, many years back. He was a member of the Mo'etzet Hachmei HaTorah of the Shas political party. Remember, the Shas political party is, let's just say, the more ultra-Orthodox Sephardi stream in of itself. I believe they boast at the moment 10 or 11 seats in the Knesset, if I'm not mistaken. And definitely within regards to it, he's one of the most influential Sephardic rabbis he's been in the world, because he's had many different students over time. He's connected to, or throughout has been connected to, many great rabbinic figures. He also speaks multiple languages, including English. He gives an excellent English shiurim. He's traveled worldwide, I think, for the organization Chazak, if I'm not mistaken, a Queens-based New York Bokharian organization which does outreach. He's spoken there on many occasions, and he's very well traveled. He's been a guest in the Syrian American community, I think in Brooklyn, and Sephardic communities in France, Argentina, and Mexico, and various other places also. So he was born and raised in Jerusalem. I believe he is the 9th child of the former chief rabbi, Rabbi Ovadia Yosef, who was a pioneer and the creator of the Shas political party. He studied at Or Yisrael Yeshiva in his youth. I think he had a big period of time learning in Yeshivat Ponevezh in Bnei Brak, and also in the famous Hebron Yeshiva in Jerusalem. I think he met at that stage in time let's just say, who would become the head, and presently the head of the Shas political party, Aryeh Deri, and they are very close, good friends, which has to be pointed out. He's married to Rabbanit Sophia. She happens to be the daughter of Rabbi Yosef Swisser, and a sister of the former Knesset member, Rabbi Eli Swisser, which is very interesting enough. He was, I believe, had ministerial portfolios during the 1990s and the 2000s, respectively. Very interesting enough. They have 9 children, and David Yosef, Chief Rabbi David Yosef, lives in Jerusalem presently. Now, we're saying that this, obviously, it's a pinnacle position, rabbinic position, you can definitely say, in the entire world, this is. And he is a 9th Sephardic chief rabbi since 1921. Let's now explore who were the chief rabbis before, because I want to start off, let's go back even further, because there's a list of the Rishon Letzions. So really, this chief rabbinate, especially in the the Sephardi stream started from the 17th century. The first, let's say, chief rabbi in its own right was Rabbi Moshe ben Yonatan Galante, who was a great rabbi. He was the first Rishon Letzion, first chief rabbi in its own right. Remember, these Rishon Letzion position in the 17th, 18th, and 19th century, even at the start of the 20th century, was predominantly, it's just solely Sephardi Rabbanim. So there were many, many dozens of Rishon Letzions. So let's start off the history from there. So it was Rabbi Moshe ben Yonatan Galante. He was the first one and was called a Magen. That was his nickname. Then I think between the years, so that was from 1665. So we're not too sure exactly what period. Then between 1689 to 1696 was Rabbi Moshe ibn Habib, who was a great rabbi. He was the head of major yeshiva in Jerusalem. So we see there was a big, strong Jewish life all throughout in Israel. Then in the 18th century, come what the year 1709 to 1729, for a 20-year tenure, it was Rabbi Avram ben David Yitzchak. That was followed by Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov Nahum, who was a great rabbi. Nahum was, I think, a rabbinic dynasty. That was in the year 1730. I'm not too sure if he held a position till 1748 or not, but come what 1748 till 1749-ish for a couple of years, I believe Rabbi Nisim Chaim Moshe Mizrahi would be the next one. And then that will be followed by Rabbi Yaakov, Rabbi Yisrael Yaakov Al-Ghazi. I think in the year 1754, he would become the chief rabbi. He was a great rabbi, a Turkish rabbi in its own right from Izmir. He would become rabbi in Jerusalem naturally because he was Rishon Letzion, the chief rabbi over there. I don't know how long this tenure was, but between 1756 to 1771, so about 16 years, Rabbi Shmuel Meyuchas was the next chief rabbi over there. Rabbi we've spoken about on this series before on various occasions. Which we have to, I think he actually himself traces his dynasty back to Spain. Then it was followed by Rabbi Chaim Raphael Abraham ben Asher, which I believe was a 2-year tenure between till 1772. Then Rabbi Raphael Moshe Bula from 1772 to 1773, respectively. And that will be followed by Rabbi Yom Tov Al-Ghazi. So I'm not too sure. I think he's related somehow to Rabbi Yisrael Yaakov Al-Ghazi, if I'm not mistaken. I will have to double check on that. I think he studied actually under the famous Rosh HaKadosh, Rabbi Shalom Sharabi, which has been pointed out, and he was head of Yeshivat Bet El. Now, he would take a position for nearly 30 years, making him possibly the longest serving, or one of the longest serving chief rabbis of Israel in Jewish history. Now, in the 19th century, the chief rabbi was Rabbi Moshe Yosef Mordechai Miyuchas. He had a 5-year tenure till 1806. I believe he was related to Rabbi Shmuel, Raphael Shmuel Miyuchas also. Then it was followed by Rabbi Yaakov Moshe Ayash El Maghrabi. That was between 1806 to 1817. Then Rabbi Yaakov Korach from 1817 to 1818. And then Rabbi Raphael Yosef Chazan, Rabbi from the year 1819 to 1821. Then famously, Rabbi Yom Tov Danan, a very famous rabbi. This was between the year 1822 to 1823, a 2-year tenure. And very much, she wrote, I believe, the book called the Kivod Yom Tov, and it was commentary on the Maimonides and Rambam, the Yad HaZaken. Then it was Rabbi Moshe Shlomo Moshe Suzin for a 12-year period, 13-year period, till 1836 from 1824. Rabbi Yona Moshe Navon. This was a 5-6-year period till 1841, followed then by Rabbi Yehuda Raphael Navon. So continuing with the Navon dynasty, I believe they were related. He had a 2-year tenure approximately till 1842. Then the next chief rabbi was Rabbi Chaim Abraham Gagin, a rabbi we've spoken about before. He was chief rabbi between 1842, I believe, till 1848, or we could say he was the first Hacham Bashi chief rabbi that was recognized by the Palestinian Ottoman government at that point in time. That was then followed by the Rabbi Yitzchak Kovo, between 1848 till 1854. Remember, the Kovo was a rabbinic dynasty, I believe, from Greece. Then that was followed by Rabbi Chaim Nisim Abulafia between the year 1854 to 1861, 7-8-year period in himself. He was, I believe, that Abulafia is a great rabbinic dynasty also in of its own right, many great rabbis. And then Rabbi Chaim David Hazan, he spent nearly 8-9 years till the year 1869 as the Rishon Letzion, and he was also head of Jewish court over there, and he was a Turkish rabbi once again. The next rabbi was Rabbi Avram Ashkenazi. Between the years 1869 to 1880, he was chief rabbi And I believe also he was of Turkish origin, if I'm not mistaken. Then that was followed by Rabbi Raphael Meir Penigel between 1880 to 1892, another very great rabbi, let's say Sephardi chief rabbi of the Ottoman Empire. And then that was followed by Rabbi Yaakov Shaul Elishar. That will be a tenure of about 13 years. He was also known as Yisabracha, and very, very great rabbi in of itself. He would take on this position until 1906. Now we're entering the 20th century over here. Very, very interesting enough. And Rabbi Yaakov Meir would become, let's say, the next chief rabbi. And he was very, very famous, very well known. And he had a position for a period of time, Rabbi Yaakov Meir did. I think that he would actually take the position again at a later stage, but in 1906, he had that position. Then next up was, which we have to point out, is Rabbi Eliyahu Moshe Panigel in 1907. This was at this stage in time, we're still talking about let's say the Rishon Letzion. He was the Sephardi chief rabbi. Then Rabbi Nachman Batito, 1909 to 1911. He's rabbi we've spoken about on this series before. Then it was followed by Rabbi Moshe Franco from 1911 to 1915. He was the next chief rabbi. Then Rabbi Chaim Moshe Eliashur, 1914 to 1915, in a close to 2-year tenure. And then Rabbi Nisim Yehuda Danon, in 1915. We don't know the exact date. I think this was the time period of the First World War. Now, Rabbi Yaakov Meir, once again, I believe he would have a second tenure as a chief rabbi between 1921 to 1939. So if we include the first year tenure, he served approximately 20 years as a Sephardi chief rabbi. And what's interesting enough, at this stage in time, it wasn't just Rishon Letzion. That was the time period where they had the title of the chief rabbi in of its own self. So he was now, let's say, you've had all these great Rishon Letzion titles. Now he makes it the first chief rabbi at this stage of time with using the new title. That was followed then by Rabbi Ben Sion Meir Chai Uzi, a very famous rabbi. I believe he would serve for nearly 15 years from 1939 till 1953 as the next chief rabbi. We've spoken about him before. Then Rabbi Yitzchak Nassim, very, very great rabbi. He would be from 1955 to 1972, making it the third, let's say, official chief rabbi position now in Israel. Then Chacham Ovadia Yosef, he would be from November 1972 to 1983, about 11-ish year period over here. He is a father of Rabbi David Yosef, the current chief rabbi now, who we just spoke about. Then it was followed by Rabbi Mordechai Eliyahu, once again around the 10-year tenure between 1983 to 1993. That was followed then by Rabbi Eliyahu Bakshi Daron. From 1993 to 2003, he was a chief rabbi over there. Very great rabbi, Rabbi Eliyahu Bakshi Daron. Much can be said about him. He was had many great positions. He was an author, also a posek halacha, and a great rabbi. Then it was followed by Rabbi Shlomo Moshe Amar from 2003 to 2013. He was part also of the president of the Bet Din in Israel and part of the Rabbanei Gadol. He was obviously naturally the Sephardi chief rabbi. He would become the chief rabbi, I believe, of Jerusalem and also of Tel Aviv at various stages. And then that's followed by Rabbi Yitzchak Yosef. I think he took his position from July 2013 all the way till July 2024. So making it an 11-year tenure. One of the great rabbis, author, also very much one of the great rabbis of, let's say, this last generation, was part of the Moatzot Chachmei Torah, and now currently Rabbi David Yosef has just taken position and is the newest chief rabbi over here. So we see we've had already about more than 40, 50 Sephardi chief rabbis in Israel since mid to late 1600s in of itself. Absolutely incredible. It's a position I would recommend everyone to learn more about this, let's say, greatest, probably the highest level job, with much responsibility. The Sephardi chief rabbi, the Rishon Letzion, the Chacham Bashi. You can use many titles over here, but Bezrat Hashem, Rabbi David Yosef is going to do a brilliant job. We're very lucky to have this position of the chief rabbi. Makes so much influence. Bezrat Hashem, it's a magical era for the whole of Am Yisrael. And wishing you all well. Hope this was informative. Friends, I've already covered about videos on biographies, about 530 great rabbis of yesteryear. We're trying to form a huge online database of great rabbanim. If you're related to any of these great rabbis, please send me an email. I'd like to know where you guys come from. So wishing you all well and Shabbat Shalom, because I'm recording this just for Shabbat Parashat Vayishlach. Take care, everybody.